Listen, whoever had the balls to record the Xmen 97 Season 2 trailer at New York Comic Con this past weekend, thank you, thank you, thank you. We have a trailer, we have a trailer, we have a trailer. Finally.
Make some noise.
And I need Marvel to understand, I don't give a about anything else that y'all are releasing. I do not care about Ironheart. I don't care about Wonder Man. I don't care about Marvel Zombies. I don't care about What If. I only want consecutive episodes of X-Men 97. That's all I want. Like, I feel like Disney Plus should strictly be utilized to beef up Marvel animations. The good animations. Because we can just cancel What If. I don't care about that. But anyway, I just went on a long tangent. Let's get back on subject. So we have the X-Men 97 Season 2 trailer. We're going to watch the trailer, react to the trailer, and then we're going to break down every single detail and Easter egg that we see in the trailer. Like I said, this is a recording. Somebody used their cell phone footage to record the screen. So it's a bootleg trailer, but I don't give a fuck. We're going to react to this damn trailer because finally. But before we get into all of that, theme song. All right, y'all, I got my laptop. We're going to press play and X-Men 97 2 trailer. Let's get it. That's Bishop's voice. I can hear Bishop. Oh, okay. We got Rogue, Beast, Nightcrawler.
And the future.
Ooh, okay. Scott and Jean and Baby Cable. The Summers are getting activated. There go Bishop. Welcome back, Bishop. Oh, come on, mother. Oh, Wolverine got his claws back. Oh, okay, Jean and Scott. They'll go by more Nightcrawler. Oh, we got Colossus. Is that Danger? Oh, Polaris and hold on. It's a lot going on.
Apocalypse. Digital video discs.
Lady Deathstrike. Okay. Hold on. It's a lot to. Hold on. It's a lot to. There's a lot that's going on in this trailer. Let's just go. Man. Okay. Wow. The cameos. Everything was just happening so fast. I apologize if. What am I apologizing? I don't apologize for nothing. That's just. It is what it is. All right. So let's just go back. So it's a lot going down in this trailer, so let's just break it down frame by frame. So the first frame was with the Rogue, Beast, and Nightcrawler. If you remember with the last episode, episode 10, the X-Men were split. So them three, Charles and Magneto, they were in the past.
Oh dear.
Scott and Jean, they were in the future.
Come.
We don't know what happened with Storm, and we don't know what happened with Wolverine, and we don't know what happened with Morph. And then Bishop came back in the present with Forge and was like,
Someone yanked our friends through time, and now we gotta go rescue the X-Men.
So I'm trying to see the outfits that Nightcrawler and Beast are wearing and Rogue. I can't make it out. The mission costumes, they don't look familiar to me, but again, it's just a little frame. So I just kind of want to see what type of era we're going into in terms of this new season regarding the X-Men's wardrobe. So then, like I said, we just got a shot of Jean and Scott and their son Cable. Remember, Cable was revealed to be a little boy when they got sent into the future. So that whole storyline is going to be complicated. for some. We'll see how this whole situation pans out. But Scott looks good here. Again, I'm trying to get a good look at the costumes, but you know, it's a recorded screen, so we just gonna work with what we have. There go my boy Bishop. Here's the thing. I want Bishop to be heavily involved this season, because we only got him in the first 3 episodes, and then they sent him into the future, and then he came back in episode 10. And I just want a season of Bishop actually being on the Xmen. Maybe he's the leader, or maybe he's just a contributing team member. I don't care. I just want more Bishop. So I'm glad to see that the majority of this trailer was Bishop's voice. I just really want to see more Bishop in X-Men 97. And again, showcase his powers, showcase his weaponry, showcase his leadership skills. More Bishop, just more Bishop, please. Next up is the Queen, Storm. Storm is back. We don't know where she is. We don't know if she's going to be in the past, or in the present, or in the future, because it wasn't made clear in the last episode. But shout out to the costume. The costume that Storm is wearing is the classic yellow and blue uniform that the X-Men were wearing during the 90s Claremont run. This was the costume that Storm was wearing when the X-Men were fighting the Shadow King. And that's when Professor Xavier's legs was crippled by the Shadow King. That's where I remember this costume from. And she has a long ponytail. So we didn't went from a mohawk. Do not ever bring that mohawk back. We went from the mohawk to bundles to a long ponytail. Shout out to Storm. That's my girl. All right, next up is Wolverine. Wolverine has his adamantium claws back. I don't know why they put that in the trailer. I think that should have just been saved. You know, like, you guys can show Wolverine, but don't show his claws. Cause, you know, as the last time we saw Wolverine, his adamantium skeleton was ripped out by Magneto. So in the comics, Apocalypse was the one to restore Wolverine's adamantium. But it's like, why did y'all reveal that in the trailer? Like, y'all should not have shown his claws in the trailer, because, you know, us X-Men fans, we was gonna kind of piece that together. But it is what it is. This shot is actually, shout out to the animators. This shot is actually a shot of, I think it's a variant cover. It's not an official X-Men cover, but it's a variant cover. But they are really replicating Wolverine. They do this a lot in the show, which is what I appreciate. They replicate a lot of scenes from the X-Men comic books. So I just remember this shot. I gotta find a picture. I can't remember the actual cover where it's from, but shout out to the animators, because that was nice. It's Jean and Scott. So first of all, look at their fits, look at their jackets. This is a callback to the early 2000s X-Men. It is really escaping my mind which writers wrote specific X-Men comics. So I apologize, because I'm a little off my game, and I'm not about to go find the comic because I don't feel like it. But the outfits that Jean and Scott are wearing in this scene, this was the storyline of the X-Men being attacked by Genosha, the whole Genosha genocide. That is the outfits that Jean and Scott are wearing. And it's funny because, you know, that storyline happened in X-Men 97 season 1, but in season 2, we're actually getting the fits. Now, I don't know if all the X-Men are getting these fits, because like I just said, Storm is wearing the classic 90s yellow and blue. This is the early 2000s fit. So, you know, we'll see what direction they're going in this. In this scene, it kind of looks like they're in the present day, but maybe they're still in the future. I don't know. But one thing I want to highlight about this, Jean is using her telekinesis to form Wolverine's claws, which is so like, hey, one thing about Jean, I know she's married to Scott, but Wolverine is also her man too. So she gonna rep her man whenever she feel like it. So she got Wolverine claws, and Cyclops, you know, fires his lasers, and then the beams just go everywhere. That is a callback to, I don't remember that actually happening in the comics, but I remember that happening in Ultimate Alliance, the second game, when Iron Man uses whatever laser beams and fires it at Wolverine, and he uses his whole body and his claws to allow the lasers to go everywhere.
That hurt.
All right, so next up we got an Omega Red cameo. This time it looks like Omega Red is getting activated, because when we saw him in the last season, he just, you know, he was in jail. He was in jail until Magneto shut down the electricity of the globe, and then he escaped.
Tolerance.
But it looks like Omega Red is about to bring the drama. So I'm curious to know, is Omega Red going to be working with Apocalypse, or is this going to be a Weaponettes storyline? Who knows? But I want some Omega Red. This is the type of content I want to see. Expand the X-Men's rogue gallery. You know, everybody thinks that Magneto is the main X-Men villain, and then if it's not Magneto, it's Apocalypse. We're briefly getting introduced to Mr. Sinister, because he was shown in the first season of X-Men 97, and he was also shown in Wolverine and the X-Men, but also the original X-Men, the animated series. But yes, utilize this moment to expand X-Men's rogue galleries, because there are a plethora of villains that are badass, and Omega Red is one of them. So I'm ready. I'm ready to see whatever the hell Omega Red is bringing to this whole situation. All right, and then we got a cameo for Colossus. We saw Colossus on the board. You know, the board that Forge was looking at. So I hope that, you know, Colossus joins the team. I know a lot of people will want a Kitty and Colossus pairing. I personally want Colossus to work with his sister, Magic, Ileana Rasputin. Just a brother-sister duo type of situation. No disrespect to Kitty, but let's switch it up. You know, let's not be cliche and bring in Miss Catherine Pride. Let's bring in Ileana just cause. But yeah, we need more muscle on the X-Men, because if y'all fighting villains like Apocalypse and Omega Red, you know, you can't depend on Beast to utilize his strength, because we already know Beast is not that. Beast is a weak ass bitch. Let's just move on. All right, so this shot right here, is this Danger? Because it looks like it's Danger. But then I don't know. It could be a Horseman of Apocalypse. I don't know. I don't know what direction they're going to go in with this. But for those who do not know, Danger is an AI developed robot construct of the Danger Room. Now, if you guys do not know, the Danger Room is the area in which the X-Men practice. You know, they practice fighting bad guys. They practice, you know, expanding their powers and controlling their powers. That's how the X-Men are able to become efficient in the field, you know, and put belt to ass when it's time to, you know, fight villains. And the technology of the Danger Room originates from the Shi'ar Empire. If you don't know what the Shi'ar Empire, that was from episode 6 of X-Men 97. When Charles was in space, he was with the Shi'ar Empire and his wife Lilandra. So that group, their technology is what the X-Men use to power up the Danger Room. One of the storylines that happened in Astonishing X-Men, the AI of the Shi'ar technology used for the Danger Room became a living being. Like, not a living being, but she established herself as a living robot, and she was fighting the X-Men because, you know, she had beef with them. She pretty much felt like she was being used. And it's just like, girl, you're an AI robot. Of course you're being used. Like, you're not a human being. That whole storyline is complicated. But anyway, Danger is her name. She actually became a member of the X-Men. I don't recall her being in Krakoa. I have not seen her in a minute, but that's who this looks like. You know, I hope I didn't go on a tangent and this turns out not to be Danger, but we'll see. Let's just move on. Okay. So then we see Charles Okay, we see Charles, and it looks like he's wearing a suit. So I'm trying to figure out, Charles was in the past. Remember, he got sent back to the past. So this must be present day, because it's like, where did you get a all black suit from? That's not what I'm concerned about. Polaris. I love Polaris. And the fact that they have Polaris in this scene is like, where are we going with this? Is Polaris going to join the Xmen? Is Polaris going to be a part of the X Factor? More Polaris, please. For those who do not know, Polaris is a mutant. She has the ability to control electromagnetism, and she is the daughter of Magneto. I personally love Polaris, and I would love to see more of her in this show. My love for her started actually in the X-Men storyline Rise and Fall of the Shi'ar Empire. Like, you know, she was a part of other X-Men comics, but I felt like in that particular run, we was able to see Polaris. Like, it didn't have Jean, it didn't have Emma Frost, it didn't have Rogue, it didn't have Storm. So there were no other X-Men women that can steal the spotlight away from Polaris, and that gave her an opportunity to shine and establish herself as a real deal X-Men team member. Because that's my thing. I feel like Polaris gets overshadowed a lot because it's so many bad bitches on the X-Men. Let's just be clear. So the writers, anytime they include her in X-Men media, it's like, it's a little bit underwhelming. So I just hope that she has an opportunity to shine in the show, since, you know, y'all have her up here with Xavier, and I'm really trying to figure out what the hell going on. So yeah, I'm excited to see Polaris. All right. See, this scene shot by so fast, so I had to really slow this trailer down frame by frame, because I didn't even recognize it the first time I saw it. We have Psylock and we have Archangel. Okay. Bring it. Bring it. And I hope this is Elizabeth Braddock and not, what's that other girl name? The Psylocke drama of it all is so complicated. It's so stupid. You know, there was a whole body swap situation, and Psylocke went from being a British woman to an Asian woman. But in my opinion, she was way more interesting and way more useful as an Asian woman compared to her being a British woman. And so they should have kept her like that. It is what it is. But I just hope for the sake of this show, they keep Psylocke as an Asian woman, Elizabeth Braddock, because she's such a bad bitch when she's Asian ninja telepath. And then we have Warren, Archangel. Warren is more interesting as Archangel than he is as Angel. I'm just going to leave it like that. So if he's going to be on the X-Men, keep him as Archangel. Now, it's funny that he's in the Archangel form while this whole, you know, situation is evolved around Apocalypse. So I'm like, okay, are you going to be working with Apocalypse, or are you going to be out for revenge because Apocalypse turned you into Archangel? We'll see how this pans out. But then also, it's really funny that they have Psylocke and Archangel in this frame together, because they used to date. So we'll see where they're going to go. Are we going to get another X-Men couple outside of Jubilee and Sunspot, and outside of Rogue and Gambit? I wonder if they're going to tap into that. But just the fact that they're standing right beside each other, yeah, let's bring it on. Bring it on. All right, this frame right here, I'm getting excited. I hope we get a spin-off series with them. I hope we get a spin-off series with them. And I pray that we get a whole entire episode with this group. This is X Factor. X Factor. Maybe I have to do a whole separate video on X Factor. But I'm going to try to keep their origin short. Long story short, the original 5 X-Men, they left the team. Storm was in charge of the X-Men at that time. Charles was in space. So they started X Factor's investigations. X Factor was known as a mutant team that was hunting mutants. To the public, they were hunting mutants. And the goal was hunt mutants in public, but train them to control their powers in private. So it was kind of like a PR stunt for the public. So then the team got relaunched, and Havoc, who is Scott's younger brother, was the leader of the team. Polaris, who I described, who I absolutely love, she was a part of the team alongside Strong Guy, his real name is Guido, Multiple Man, his real name is Jamie, and Wolfsbane, her real name is Rain Sinclair. And that was like the notable X Factor team. And so we saw Forge at the end of, season 1, episode 10. He was looking for the X-Men. Forge was one of the leaders of the X Factor as well. And we actually saw Forge in the original X-Men, the animated series. There was a whole X Factor episode dedicated to them because Iceman was looking for them. So just the fact that we have a cameo from the X Factor, again, I hope it's a whole solo episode with just them. And even if it's not, bring them in, like include them throughout the season. So yeah, I'm hype. I love the X Factor. Let's move on. The last shot is Apocalypse. So we got Apocalypse in the past and we got Apocalypse in the present. You gotta remember, Apocalypse was shown at the end of episode 10.
My name is En Sabanu. Oh, much death.
I'm excited to see more of Apocalypse. He's been used in several X-Men media. He was used in the original animated series. He was the main villain in X-Men Evolution. He was alluded to in Wolverine and the X-Men. And they had that terrible movie of Apocalypse, the Fox X-Men movies, which we're not going to speak about on this channel. But yeah, I love Apocalypse. And as I said earlier, I just love the fact that we are diving more into X-Men's rogue gallery, because everybody just believed Magneto is the main villain of the X-Men. There are so many unique evil villains of the X-Men. So just having an opportunity to give the X-Men a challenge, it's not always about Magneto and it's not always about, Sinister or the Friends of Humanity. Like the X-Men got some dope ass villains. So bring them more into the forefront. So I'm excited to see Apocalypse. And then the last couple of frames, it looks like we're going to get a Weaponettes, themed episode because we have Sabretooth and then we have Lady Deathstrike and then we have Morph and we have Wolverine. Now, I'm excited for this. I'm excited to see Sabretooth because we didn't see Sabretooth at all in season 1. I'm excited to see Lady Deathstrike. She is another unique X-Men villain. Like what I'm saying, like we got Sabretooth. They are bomb-ass X-Men villains. So I can't wait to see the both of them. Now my criticism here is like, what is Morph doing with Wolverine? Like clearly Wolverine, Lady Deathstrike, and Sabretooth, they got ties together. All three of them used to work for Weaponettes at one point in time. But what is Morph doing there? I don't need to see Morph and Wolverine together. I think they were trying to push that friendship in season 1. And then we had that weird moment of Morph turning into Jean and saying that I love you.
She can't say it, but I can.
I love you, Logan. Stay with me.
And so if we're going to get a solo episode surrounded by Wolverine and Weaponettes with Lady Deathstrike and Sabretooth, it's like, why did y'all choose Morph? I don't know. I hope that doesn't lead to anything weird, but I don't like the friendship between Morph and Wolverine, and I hope that's not going to lead anywhere. Go back to highlighting the friendship between Wolverine and Nightcrawler, because they were actually brotherhood in the comics, and they are still BFFs in the comics. But this whole Wolverine and Morph situation is weird, and I don't want to see it. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for X-Men 97 Season 2. The problem is, show is not coming out until summer of 2026. Why is it taking so long, dog? I don't want to see any of this other shit that Marvel is dropping. Just give us X-Men 97 season 2. Bruh, just drop that in January. Drop that in January, man. Damn. Just gotta, damn. I'm a patient person, but I don't have no patience when it comes to this. Drop this right now. And then on top of that, I'm really curious to know how many episodes it's going to be. I hope it's more than 10. We better get 26 episodes. Because that's how television used to do child cartoons back in the day. It was 26 episodes. That was a full season. One half was released in the fall. That was 13 episodes. The second half was released in the spring. That was another 13 episodes. And that was the full season. And they would come on week after week after week. Every Saturday, every Friday, it doesn't matter. That's how cartoons used to be released in terms of seasons. Now, because of streaming, you know, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Netflix, it's like we're only getting 10 episodes and we have to wait a year, 2 years just to get another season. Come on, man. Whatever. It is what it is. All in all, I'm excited about season 2 of X-Men 97. I'm ready. I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready. And I gotta find some more X-Men merch because y'all know I don't play when it comes to the X-Men merch. But yeah, thank y'all for making it to the end of this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.